part 3 of the Bhagavad Gita types of relationships that I've been talking about. Today, it's madhyastha. And the word madhyastha means that it's someone who's established in the center and stays in this center as an active participant, kind of like a mediator. When someone acts like a peacemaker between two who are in conflict, then that person or that attitude is of madhyastha. That person kind of acts like a bridge, a buffer, the gap right in between that fills up this communication and then conveys a sattvic attitude, a harmonious and positive attitude. Now, we all understand the need for privacy and boundaries. And in fact, right now, fittingly and literally, we have set up boundaries. And there's a time and place for privacy, but when it comes to solving conflicts, like what we're collectively trying to do together as a world, then that means we have to come together as one unit, one bridge. Each one of us has to take the role of madhyastha. That means taking responsibility, doing our part by staying home, staying healthy, protecting ourselves and others so that we can stop this deadly virus. We need to act as if we were a human bridge between this battle of the world and COVID-19. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says you need to step out of the picture for a moment, hold no grudges, there's no room for complaints, and kind of stepping out so that you can just kind of see things differently, a different perspective. And then when that happens, we share this vision of sameness towards people. And then we have this attitude that we're in this together. So I've been sharing this with you because I think it's always so amazing that something that was written thousands of years ago has a message that can work for us right here, right now. So see what elements you can take from that. Maybe tap it into your practice this morning. Let's begin lying down on our backs with our head towards the very back of the mat. And when you do so, just find a cool place. You can let your knees bend with the feet flat. Feel free to take the feet wide and you're knock the inner knees in, or even a reclined butterfly pose, bringing the soles of your feet together, let the knees drop wide. If you happen to have your props nearby, you can always prop a block underneath your thighs in this particular position. You can even let the legs extend out like Shavasana. So if you pick and choose what the lower half of the body wants to look like or feel. And then the same goes with your upper body. Just feel that you're kind of got space within the spine. Arms can rest alongside your body, or even rest a hand to your belly and a hand to the heart. So once you've taken that moment just to settle into your preferred shape, especially if your knees are bent in either position, take a moment to lift your glutes up and then imagine like you can just extend further from the tailbone as you set your glutes back down. So now that gives you some space in your low back that way. And then settle in. Close your eyes down. Maybe take a few cleansing, clearing breaths in through the nose and then deeply out through your mouth. And eventually, let the lips seal as you just allow your breath to flow freely and deeply through your nose. Either let your breath move in an even pace or start to turn on that feeling of YWY pranayama. Let every inhalation bring that life-giving energy into your body. And every exhalation, feel a little bit more grounded, a bit more secure and safe. With your next inhale, let's reach the arms directly up towards the sky, palms facing each other. And then you'll just simply cross one arm over the other as you're just giving yourself a nice hug, and let this be heavy through the arms. So no need to reach your fingertips towards your shoulder blades. Just let the fingers, the hands relax. And then inhale, bring the arms back up. And then just simply switch that cross. Again, just giving yourself a nice gentle hug. Bring both arms back up overhead and then extend them alongside your ears. Pause for just a moment and just feel nice and long through the sides of your body. Notice how your belly or your rib cage starts to poof up towards the sky. So you can melt your ribs downward towards your mat. And then reach the arms back up towards the sky once again, and then flex your palms, right? Almost like you're handstanding, right? So just flex the palms for a moment. And then we're gonna kind of imagine like we're coming into a back bend. So you'll bend your right arm, or left arm rather, and place your fingertips at the tops of the shoulders, and then do the same with that right arm. We're not back bending, so don't freak out. Rather, once you're here, it's just like this preparation for a back bend when I want you to feel what's going on in your arms. So you can let the elbows start to lift up and towards the crown of your head, past the crown of your head. Your biceps hug in towards your ears rather than letting the elbows splay outward. And I want you to feel this action of the triceps, your outer arms, wrapping and around and forward, right? So again, there's a lot of action here. Elbows pointing up and back, biceps hugging into your ears, and the triceps, your outer arms, wrapping forward. Keep that action, and now notice your rib cage. More than likely, it's started to explode up to the sky again. So you can hug your low ribs in, and even the bottom tip of your sternum, so you can drop that down towards your spine. Keep the core engaged here just from that action. And again, it's just hold, hold, hold. Elbows reaching up and back, biceps in, triceps wrapping forward. Hold for another 3, 2, and 1. Release, reach your arms up, and then start to create fists in both hands. Lower the arms and then switch the legs. So now the knees are bent, and lift the hips up and place those fists now at your glutes. So this is fun. Just lift your legs up and then just move organically, right? Kind of moving maybe your fists around, massaging out your glutes, your hips. You can extend the legs and just kind of notice what you might need. It's a great way just kind of massage out in our glutes. Right, kind of bring some blood flow into that area. And then from here, set both feet flat, lift the hips up to take the hands out as we now hug our knees to the chest. And then just maybe sway right to left, side to side. Nice little massage for the low back. Then we're going to go ahead and slide each hand underneath our knee creases and just begin to rock forward and back along the length of your spine. And then it'll eventually come into a tabletop position. So go ahead and come up or roll to one side as you set yourself up into a tabletop. Once you're there, I'd like you to right away round your spine just like a cat's pose, right? So hollow out the space in your belly, tuck your tailbone, feel your shoulder blades wide on your back, kind of countering what we were just doing on our back by really hugging in. So just keep that hugging in sensation. And then we'll now come into cow pose. So let your tailbone lift, heart moves forward and up, and then exhale, curl out and round. So just continue that nice organic movement in your body. Notice how you can match the flow of your breath. Pause now in neutral, and then we're going to go ahead and walk our arms forward to come into a puppy pose. Nice and easy. So your hips stay stacked over your knees as you start to melt the chest down. Depending on how you're feeling today in your upper back and shoulders, maybe the forehead will touch the nose, the chin, but don't force. Then either stay like this or come onto your elbows of both arms Palms up for just a moment, and then start to walk the elbows forward as you're still keeping your hips in line with your knees. One of two things, especially if you can't touch your head down to the mat, maybe just cup your hands at the very back of your skull. Otherwise, if you can go a little bit deeper, elbows walk forward and then see if you can bring prayer hands at the very nape of your neck. So ultimately what you want to feel here is this extension through the sideways and opening through your chest. Draw that low belly in and up, really support your low back. One more breath. If you're in this variation with the elbows down, push against your elbows, place one hand down, the other hand down, and let's come into our very first downward facing dog. So once you're set in your down dog here, I'd like you to go ahead and just walk it out a few times. So pedal through your legs. Maybe move around into your feet. It's nice to kind of come to the tops of your feet, roll out the ankles. And after you moved a few times, you can just now start to settle into your downward facing dog. Spread your fingers really wide. Wrap your triceps, those outer arms, towards your ears, out and in towards the ears. Notice how that lets your shoulder blades kind of lie flat on your back. On your next inhale, we'll lift the right leg back and up in the air for a three-leg dog. Bend at your knee and stack your right hip on top of your left. Either stay here or move around, twirl around at that hip socket. Hinge at your knee joint. Move your ankle, move your toes. With your next inhalation, straighten through the leg, flex the foot and point the toes down to the mat so both hip points are looking evenly to the mat. Come high in the ball of your left foot, and as you exhale, hug your knee to the chest, look forward to step the foot forward. Pop high onto your fingertips or place your hands on blocks once you're here. Then nice and slow and steady, straighten your front knee out without hopping the back foot in, so keep it where it is. And then lunge back into your front knee. Let the pelvis sink down and forward. And then just back and forth. Inhale, straighten through the front leg. Then exhale, lunge right back into it. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, straighten once again. This time when you lunge, pause in a runner's lunge. So now your hips are lifted. Left hand will come down, and I want you to look at your left hand. Turn the hand just a little bit, like half an inch to the left side of your mat. Notice it spins the eye of the elbow forward, but what that's going to do is draw the inner shoulder, outer shoulder. Then revolve lunge, reach your right arm up in the air. Extend your right arm alongside your ear, then bend at your elbow. Place your hand either to cup your skull or towards the back of the neck or shoulder blades. And then just start to lean your head back into your right arm bone. With your next inhale, straighten through the arm, look down. We'll place that right hand to the inside of your right foot. Use an inhale, pass through the left, turn the toes in, then pass to the left, all the way to your left foot. As you exhale, we'll lower the right knee down. Low lunge, inhale, peel your chest up, your arms up. So you're still warming up our bodies. So just kind of assess what you need here. If pulsing into the legs feels good, otherwise just stay static. If your pelvis is dropping down and forward, draw the pelvis back, the torso back, so the torso's in line with your back knee. Then we'll interlace the fingers behind the back. Use an inhale, extend the arms a bit straighter, open up through your chest. Just breathe it deeply here. Notice how the bottom tips of your shoulder blades tuck in and forward towards your chest. Next breath in, sweep both arms overhead. Exhale, we'll lower the hands to the mat to frame your left foot. Pick up your back knee. We're going to a three-legged downward dog. Reach your left leg back and up. Then bend that knee and then move around here too. Explore at the hip joint, your knee joint, the ankle, the toes. Next breath in, we'll straighten through the legs, square off your hips. Feel as if you're pushing your left foot against a wall. And as the foot is pushing against that imaginary wall, press your hands down and forward. Come high in the ball of your right foot. As you exhale, hug your knee to the chest so you can step the foot forward. Pause in your runner's lunge. Tent the fingertips if you'd like. Inhale, we straighten that left leg out. Exhale, lunge. And again, just dynamic movement within these two shapes, waking up into our hips and our hamstrings. Next time your knee is bent, stay, again, keeping the hips buoyant, right hand down, but look at the hand, and then turn it out towards the right, just about 1/4 of an inch, then reach that left arm to the sky as you revolve your shape. Back leg is strong as if it were in plank. Then reach your left arm right alongside your ear. Bend at that elbow, either cup your skull or place your hand towards the nape of the neck or the tops of your shoulder blades. And then let your head lean back. Inhale, straighten through that arm. Exhale, place the hand to the inside of your left foot. Use your inhale, pass through the center. Exhale, back to the front of the mat. Drop that back knee down. One more breath. We reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, lower the hands back down. Step back to plank and hold a plank. Know that you have the option to drop the knees down if it's too taxing on your upper body. Once you're here, spin the eyes of your elbows towards the front of your mat. Reach the crown of the head forward. So notice you have a tendency to drop the head. Your gaze should be down to the top edge of the mat so you feel your throat open. Knees down or not, rock your weight forward to your big toes. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. See that you feel your thumbs in line with your low ribs as you pin your inner elbows in, and then come into cobra pose. Shoulders away from the ears, neck nice and long. As you lower, feel your low ribs, the chest, the chin, and the forehead touch. Then twice more like that. Inhale, feel like you're dragging your torso away from the pelvis as you breathe in. Lower on the exhale, low ribs, chest, chin, and forehead. Last one, inhale. And exhale. From here, curl the toes under, firm up your legs, engage your quads. Knees down if you need to, push your mat away, plank. Down dog, exhale. Continue here in your down dog if you need to walk it out a few more times. Just kind of notice your breath too. Let's take a walk forward to the very top of our mat. Come into a standing forward fold. Pause at the top with the feet set at sit bones distance, and then reach for opposite elbows. Create that square around the head as you simply dangle your torso. Feel free to sway a little side to side. And it helps to keep both knees bent so that you feel that space in the very back of your knees, kind of taking it away from the hamstrings for a moment so we can really traction out in our spine. When you release your elbows, slide your hands to the hip creases. Press down to come on up on your inhale. Exhale, lower the arms alongside your body. Either keep those feet separated at your sit bones distance, or traditionally bring the big toes to touch, space in between the inner heels. From here, we're going to move through a variation of sun salutation A. With your inhale, reach both arms up overhead. Bend your left elbow above your head. Right hand will catch the elbow. Then use an exhale to lean to your right. Inhale through center. Stretch the arms overhead. Exhale, bend your right elbow. Left hand to the elbow and lean to the left. Inhale through center. Touch the palms in prayer above your head and then create Kali Mudra. So wrap the last 3 fingers and extend through the index fingers. On the next exhale, draw a line down the center as you fold forward into your legs. Once you're down, release the hands and inhale, monkey pose, hands to the shins or to your mat. Palms flat, you choose, walk, step, or hop back. Bend the elbows, lower Chaturanga Dandasana. Cobra, or if you're ready, upward facing dog. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Feel your front ribs hug towards your back ribs. Kind of engaging what you'll feel in your upper abdominals. Navel is drawing in and up. Inner thighs spin back as the heels are heavy and sit bones lift up. Take one more deep breath. Then inhale, lift the heels, bend your knees. Exhale, walk, step, or hop to the front. Inhale, lift up halfway. Fold, exhale. Press to stand, Urdhva Hastasana. Reach the arms, lift your gaze. Bend the left elbow, right hand for the elbow. Exhale, right. Inhale through center, reach those arms up. Bend the right elbow, we exhale left. Inhale, reach the arms up, touch the palms, Kali Mudra. Exhale, draw the line down the center as you fold forward. Release the hands, inhale, monkey pose, palms flat, feet back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha up dog. Use your belly to lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. See the feet separated at sit-bones distance. Lighten up the toes, 10 little ones on the front of your feet. And then let the heels feel heavy, right? Even if they don't touch. Creating what we call pada bandha. Pada meaning feet, foot. Bandha meaning a lock. So you're really feeling locked and grounded against your feet. Last breath. Then use an inhale, lift the heels, look forward, walk, step, or hop forward to your hands. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, monkey, lengthen. Fold, exhale. Back to stand, reach the arms, lift the gaze. Then again, bend that left elbow, exhale right. Inhale, extend those arms, exhale left. Inhale, Kali Mudra in your hands. Exhale, draw that center line down. Inhale, lift and lengthen, monkey. Palms to the mat, walk, step, hop back, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward face. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. All right, from here, inhale, lift your right leg back and up in the air. With your exhale, hug your knee to the chest as you draw the shoulders to stack over your wrists. 3-leg dog, inhale, reach the leg back and up. Exhale, step the foot forward to the very top of your mat, and we'll lower the back knee down for our low lunge once again. Inhale, lift your chest, lift your arms. This time, look above you, touch the palms in prayer, then bend at your elbows, and then tuck the heel of the hands at the base of the skull. So like we did earlier when we were preparing for that back bend, draw your elbows up and back, hug your biceps, your inner arms towards your ears, as your outer arms wrap forward. Helps to actually shift your weight back just a bit, your torso back, so you're not dumping against your low back. Beautiful. From here, reach the arms up, and as you start to lean forward, sweep the arms behind you, curl the back toes, lift the knee. So now you're in a leaning lunge. Then keep the back toes curled as you lower that left knee. Bring the arms back up, palms touch. Exhale, find that back bend. Then we move dynamically. Inhale, arms up. Lean forward as you reach the arms back and pick up the back knee. Exhale. Knee drops. Inhale, arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, bend the elbows, find the back bend. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lean. Inhale, reach the arms up, back knees down, pause right here. Then go ahead and cactus out your arms. Eagle wrap your right arm over your left arm. You'll see that I shifted my torso back. That way I'm not into my low back. Press the elbows away from your chest so you feel expansive into your back body. Either stay here or lunge your pelvis down and forward again and then lean into it. So I asked you to drop the pelvis down and forward because a tendency here is to stick the butt out and it might hurt your lower back. So you can sink that pelvis as you're leaning. And if it doesn't feel right, come back to this pose where you're standing on your back knee. Hold for 1 more breath. Unravel your arms, half splits. Straighten your front leg out. Once you're here, feel free to sway the hips side to side until eventually you can exhale, fold forward and down to the inner part of your leg. So your right belly, your right chest is lining up with your inner leg line. On the next breath in, go ahead and lift up, lengthen. Exhale, go ahead and bring your right knee to meet your left knee, tabletop position. Once you're set in table, lower each forearm down. Set it up so if you're creating a number 11 in your hands and forearms, then curl the toes under, dolphin pose. Lift your hips up, start to walk your feet in. So your head is free and off the mat. And as you're anchored down against your elbows, forearms, and palms, feel the shoulder heads kind of move away from your ears. Shoulder blades on the back are wide. Hold for another 3, 2. Look to your hands, keep them still separated, then push into your palms, go straight to plank. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward dog. Nicely done. Breathe deep for a moment. Then inhale, let's lift the left leg back and up. Exhale, tuck it in knee to nose. Shift your weight forward, dome out your body. Inhale, extend the leg back. Exhale, we step the foot forward, lower the back knee. We're revisiting low lunge. Lift your chest, lift the arms overhead. And once again, look up, touch the palms in prayer above you, then bend at your elbows. Again, slide the heel of the hands right at the very back of the neck, base of the skull rather. And again, elbows lift up and back, biceps hug in, triceps wrap forward, and then that low ribs, remember that cue I gave you on your back? Draw the low ribs in, the bottom tip of the sternum in. You'll notice right away, now you're really contained, like you've got this corset on in your belly. Beautiful, guys. Let's lean it out. Hinge forward, sweep the arms behind you as you now pick up that back knee. Lower the knee down. Inhale, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, find your back bend. Inhale, arms up, and exhale, we lean. Lower the knee. Inhale, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, arms up. Last one here, exhale, lean. Lower the back knee. Inhale, arms reach up, palms touch, pause. Then cactus out your arms. Eagle wrap the left arm right over your left arm over your right arm. Once again, shift your weight back, stack your upper body over your pelvis, pause. Decide to stay here, or again, let the pelvis sink down and forward as you lean forward. So you see your elbows are not in front of the knee, they're more to the inner part of the leg. Left rib cage, left chest, connected against your left thigh. Last breath. Release your arms, half splits. Inhale, straighten the front leg out. Again, once you're here, maybe organically move until you can settle in. When you do settle in and you start to hinge, again, think about the idea of keeping your torso, your upper body in line with the pelvis. So really your left side is still connected against that left thigh bone, or inner thigh rather. One more moment. Use your inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, bend into the knee, tabletop. Left knee meeting the right knee. Once again, lower each forearm down to the mat. Curl the toes under, dolphin. Lift the hips up, walk your feet in. Now either stay right here, hold for 3 to 5 breaths. Otherwise, if you're a bound headstand person, bring your hands together, interlace the fingers, lower the crown of the head to the mat as you scoot the back of the head and cup your skull. Once you're here, without hopping, so you can lift your legs up. Again, this is if you've only been practicing. This is an intermediate level, so you know if you can come into this headstand or not. I'll meet you in child's pose. After you've been in your pose, if you're with me, hold for another 3, 2, and 1. Control your landing. Hinge from your hips. Lower the feet, lower the knees. Meet child's pose. Wrap your arms outside of your legs. Let the forehead drop.
Then create fists in each hand, and then pat out your legs. Little self-massage your low back. Nice. And then again, just settle back and find your breath. All right, yogis, you decide. Stay here if you need an extra breather. Otherwise, let's come back and find downward facing dog. Hold one more moment in your down dog here. Then inhale, we slide forward to plank. Lower your knees, lower your hips, lower all the way downward to your mat. Once you're there, extend your left arm out to the side. See that your hand is in line with your nose. Then look right. Key up shoulder stretch. Roll to your left side. Tap your right foot behind your left leg. Either stay here. Some of you might be able to bend both knees, but just ease into it. So get that nice stretch into the front of your left shoulder, into your chest. Beautiful, guys. Go ahead and roll back onto your belly. So now we can switch out. Reach your right arm out to the side. See that your hand is in line with the nose. Look left, and then roll onto your right side waist. Again, maybe that left foot taps behind your right leg. Maybe both knees bend. Again, just kind of assess what you're feeling right here in the front of the shoulder. Use your next exhale. Roll back onto your belly. Then come onto your forearms just like Sphinx for just a moment. All right, so same thing, we have our forearms down like we did earlier before we came into dolphin. But this time take your right arm and cross it on a little diagonal so it's looking to the left side of your left corner of your mat. Then bend your left knee. Reach your left arm forward, up and around, and grab the top of your foot right at the toes, and then start to pull that heel in. Now, I want you to look back for a moment if you can. Notice if your knees started to escape to the left, right? If that's you, so you can hug your inner thighs towards each other as you're drawing that heel in. Low belly pulling in and up, always way to keep support at that low back. Last breath. Without slingshotting your foot, let that foot come back down to the mat and we'll switch. Bend your left elbow, angle the arm a bit, and then bend your right knee. Reach your right arm forward, up, around. Hold the toes, pull that heel in, again, hugging the inner thighs to the midline. With control, let that foot go. Crocodile both arms, so stack it up, arm over arm. Lower your forehead towards that top arm, then bend both knees, and just simply windshield wiper your feet from side to side. Beautiful, guys. Let the legs lower. Slide the hands back. Thumbs in line with the low ribs. Curl the toes under. Lift the knees. Firm up your quads. Push your mat away as you inhale, plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 lions breath here. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Open your mouth. Stick the tongue out as you exhale. Twice more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Let everybody in your house hear you. Inhale. All right, I don't know if I was the only one that did that. All right, take another moment here. Keep the lips sealed. Find the breath again. We're gonna come to the top. So inhale, lift the heels, bend at your knees, walk, step, or hop forward towards your hands. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Separate your feet so they're sipos distance. Padangustasana, that peace finger grip slides in between your big toe and second toe, and then connect the fingers to your thumbs. Inhale, lengthen out first. Take the length with you as you exhale to fold to your legs. So if your hamstrings are tight, I encourage you to keep those knees bent. Elbows point towards the back of your mat rather than out to the sides. So you're keeping the shoulder blades wide on the backs and there's less tension into the traps. And you'll feel the neck traction out from the heaviness of your head. Last breath. Inhale, look forward. Slide the hands to your hips as you exhale. Inhale, press it up to stand. Exhale, release your arms. Shake it out a little bit now that we're standing. So starting at the very top of your mat, keep the feet still set at your sit bones distance, right? I'm kind of changing the cue if you've heard me before, and a lot of teachers, we all say hip width, and usually our hips, we want to feel like it's wide, but think sit bones, so the middle of your glutes, and that's probably a better stance for your feet. Now your right leg is going to be a standing leg. I want you to bring your hands to your hips and lift the left knee up into a standing crane. Now notice here, if the left rim of your pelvis is lifted, so you can use your hands on your hips to readjust that. So now you're balanced through that pelvis. Like there's a long line that's straight right in the front of your, the front part of the pelvis. Now reach your left arm forward, up and back as now your right foot comes behind you. And just like we did in that stretch, find the toes. Hold the toes as you pull the heel in. Now notice here, your knee's gonna want to escape to the left. Draw the inner thighs in, hug the outer hips into the midline as well. Then look down. Notice if your thigh is pitching forward. So you can really work on pulling your thigh bone back. So the knee is pointing downward and the front of the pelvis, the front of both thighs are flush. Keep that right hand to your hip, just hold here. Beautiful. We're gonna keep the left knee bent as is. Bring your left hand to your hip. Feel how your hamstrings are working here. Another 3, 2, inhale, back to crane. Hands to heart, standing pigeon. Cross your left ankle right at your right thigh bone. And then hinge forward. Pull the hips back, your chest forward. Once you found your hinge, you can either keep your hands to the heart or place one hand gently against your left inner knee, one hand holds the foot. You'll feel here as you just gently press down against your left leg, you'll feel it in your outer hips, right? And into your glutes. Back to crane on an inhale, lift the chest up, lift that knee up. If you're like me, fall out, it's okay. And then step the left foot back, warrior 1, Vira A, right? So adjust your stance here, lunging into the front knee, hug your right hip into the midline. Then your back foot, the foot is flat. And just for a moment, I want you to lift the heel up and notice how the inseam of your pants spins back, right? And then put the heel back down. And notice the inseam of the pant probably spun forward. So you can actually keep that heel down, but still spin your left inner thigh back, right? As if you were trying to lift that heel. Great little kind of way to understand what this back hip is doing. Then reach both arms up overhead, coming into your Anjaneyasana. Oh, rather, warrior 1, Virabhadrasana 1. Now bring the tips of your fingers to the tops of your shoulders, elbows out wide. Point the elbows forward as you exhale. Inhale, open the elbows out wide. Exhale, bring the elbows in, maybe they touch. Inhale, open it up. Exhale. Inhale, open, then cactus the arms out once again. Wrap eagle, right arm over left arm. Lift the elbows, nudge them away from your chin and chest. Then start to lean forward. Halfway, just halfway, not humble. Then pivot on the ball of the back foot. Here you are in a leaning lunge with eagle arms. Option is stay or warrior 3, or for me, I'm gonna do a bent leg warrior 3 because I have a hamstring and insertion injury. Hold your balance, leaning warrior 3 or bent leg warrior 3. Another 3, 2, big step back on 1, pivot to face the back, warrior 2. All right, heel to arch, heel to heel, you choose, but that torso is directly over our pelvis. Extend long with your arms. Now we're gonna create fists in both hands. So tuck your thumbs to this inside of your palms, then wrap the fingers around. It's called Mushti Mudra. And then circle out your wrists. One direction, and then the other direction. Release your hands, spread wide within your fingers. Flip the left palm, inhale, reverse. Keep the lunge in your front knee as you're leaning back. Either gaze to your back foot or maybe up to the sky. Then back for warrior two, turn your thumbs down, bring your arms behind your back, interlace your fingers. Then bend your elbows and slide your fist toward your left hip. Squeeze your left elbow back behind you. Hold this as you now lower your left ear to your left shoulder. Feel the power of the legs, even as you're doing something in the upper body. Squeeze the heels inward to the midline. Feel the adductors, your inner thighs work. Beautiful, yogis. Your right arm that's behind the back will stay. Release your left arm to the side, up to the sky as you now pivot and straighten that left leg. Turn the toes to the long edge of your mat and exhale over to your right. Inhale, center, reach both arms overhead. Exhale, lean to the left, let that left hand just gently graze against your left leg. Gaze down to your left foot. Sweep that left hand down and through to the center so you can face forward. Turn your right foot forward, pause, half moon, and if you'd like, use a block as you shift and lift your top leg, reaching that left arm to the sky. So once you're here, the toes of your lifted leg are facing the same direction as your chest is. Then bend your knee, Chapasana, half bow. Reach back so you can catch the toes again. Just play with this version for me today. Once you do so, pull the heel towards your glute. Visualize that your outer knee and hip are in line with each other rather than pointing the knee to the sky. Notice your standing knee, we tend to lock it out straight. So keep a soft bend in the knee so you can turn on your quadriceps and your glutes to stabilize your standing hip. Hold another breath. Release that foot, or rather release the foot, but keep it bent. Same thing like we did standing. Then step back as you exhale. Both legs straight, prepare for triangle pose. Flip your right palm, reverse your triangle first, and then right into triangle. Trikonasana. Hand on a block if you'd like. Hand to a shin. Back leg, kick the heel out just a little bit so your toes angle into the midline so that you're creating more of an internal rotation of your back thigh. Front leg, really anchor down. Find that pada bandha in the front foot without locking at your kneecap. Feel free to stay or maybe reach that left arm right alongside your ear. Turn the hand so the pinky's down, wrapping that tricep around. You notice a lot of the same cues in this particular practice. Beautiful, guys. Gaze down now, a little bend in your front knee so you can bring both hands to the mat. Go ahead and step your left foot forward and off to the left. Adjust your stance for pyramid. With your inhale, lengthen first as you wrap your right hip back. Left hip forward, and then fold forward and down. Left rib cage, left chest, or rather right rib cage, right chest to the inner part of your right leg. On the next breath in, look up, lengthen. Step forward as you exhale. Keep the feet separated at your sit bones distance. This time, stand on your hands. Padangusthasana, palms up as you slip the palms under, toes touch the wrists, fingers touch the heels. Give it an inhale, find length first, then exhale, we fold in. A little bend in both knees, if not a big generous bend in the knees if you need to. Head is heavy. Capture your deep breath again. All right, inhale, look forward. Exhale, release each hand. Hands to the hips. Use your next inhale, rise up to stand. And again, once you're there, maybe shake it out a bit. All right. All right, let's find our standing balance at the top. So again, make sure you set your feet at your sit bones distance, toes pointing forward. This time it's the left leg that's the standing leg. Left hand to the hip, right hand to the hip. Lift that right knee up. Again, notice right away if you have that tendency to hike your hip up to the sky, adjust the pelvis so it's set at neutral.
Then from here, reach your right arm forward, up and around as you now bring your right foot behind you. Find the toes, pull the heel in. Again, hug your inner thighs to the midline, squeeze your outer hips in to feel stability. Gaze down if you need to so you feel the front of your pelvis, the front of your thigh bones are flush with each other as you're holding. Beautiful. Now keep your right knee bent. See if you can keep the heel exactly where it is as you now bring your right hand to the hip. Notice without the assistance of your hands, now your right hamstrings are working really hard for another 3, 2, bring the knee forward on 1. Cross that right ankle over your left thigh, hands to heart, standing pigeon pose. Ease into it. Pull your hips back as you hinge forward and lengthen. Either keep your hands to your hips, or rather to your heart, or one hand to your right inner knee and thigh, left hand to the foot, and just kind of use that as a way to get a little bit more stretch and release into your right hip. Beautiful. Hands to heart. See how slowly and steadily you can come back to crane. Inhale. Warrior 1, exhale. Step that right foot back. Right. All right, find that grounding. Then again, if you need to pick your back heel up, notice your inner thigh spins back. Pull the heel back down. You'll notice your inner thigh might move forward. So you can actually find that action of moving your right inner thigh back without having to lift the heel. Arms reach up. Inhale, warrior 1. Then cactus out your arms. Once again, bring your fingertips to your shoulders, elbows wide, and now circle your elbows forward 3 times. Pause. Circle the elbows back 3 times. Pause. Cactus out your arms. Left arm over the right arm. Eagle. Elbows lift at throat level. Press your elbows and outer wrists forward away from your chest. With your next exhale, lean forward. Just a lean, not humble. Either remain here, pick up your back heel, stay here, or warrior 3 or bent leg warrior 3 with your eagle arms. If your back leg starts to lift up, flex the foot, toes to the mat. That inner thigh that I told you about, lift it up to the sky. One more deep breath. Exhale, big step back. Warrior 2 to the back. Then into your right knee. Again, find the stance in your feet. Stack your torso over your pelvis, shoulders away from the ears. Flip your right palm. Inhale, reverse it. Exhale, back for warrior 2. Turn your thumbs down. Interlace, move one finger over, switch up the grip. Then as you bend into your elbows, your fist towards your right hip. Squeeze that right elbow in, like you're trying to get your inner elbows to touch. Hold that, and now lower your right ear to your right shoulder. Then don't forget about your foundation. Feel the heels squeeze to the midline. Left arm will stay behind the back as you reach your right arm up, straighten the right leg, pivot your foot so all 10 toes are facing the long edge of your mat, and we exhale and lean to your left. Come through center, reach both arms on the inhale. Exhale, lean it right. Look downward to your right foot, swing that left hand down and through. As we travel forward to the front, turn your left foot forward. Half moon is where you're going. Either your hand to the floor about 12 inches diagonally to your pinky toe, or hand to a block. Stacking your shoulders with the wrists. Top leg is strong. Without locking at both knees, again, really work on engaging your quads and your glutes. Bend your top leg. Back for the toes in this variation. Notice that the knees up. Visualize your outer knee and hip aligned with each other as you're pulling your heel to your glute. We're going to keep that top leg bent as much as you can. And like we did standing, release it. Imagine like you're holding a block in between your heel and your glute. Nice. Release that as you exhale. Big step back. Keep your legs straight as you inhale up to stand. Reverse triangle. Reach your left arm up and alongside your ear.
Then right to triangle trikonasana. So pivot and lengthen away from the pelvis. Place your hand to a block, maybe onto your shin or to the mat. Find your variation. Fix the gaze up to your thumb if you'd like, or keep your head at neutral and just gaze in the same direction your chest is facing. Feel your low ribs hug into the midline as you're extending your tailbone towards your back heel. Notice that now instantly gave you some space in your lumbar. Either stay or cascade that arm alongside your ear and lengthen more on your right side waist. Nice, gaze down now. Exhale, pyramid pose. Bend your left knee, hop your right foot in and off to the right. So each foot has a lane. To prepare it, let's inhale, lengthen, and then wrap your left hip back. And then exhale, fold. Just breathe deeply here. Keep the kneecaps soft as you pull up on the quadriceps. Inhale, we look up, lengthen, step to the top as you exhale. Hands to the hips, inhale, up to stand. Exhale, slowly release. From here, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward to your legs. Surya Namaskar A, just to clear it out. Inhale, look up, lengthen, palms to the mat, walk, step, or hop back. Vinyasa, I'm going to skip that. We all meet back in down dog. All right. From your downward facing dog, let's lower our knees and shins to the mat. And we're gonna sit in either Vajrasana on our heels, or if you want Virasana, hero's pose with a block or not. And if you're gonna practice that, separate the feet a bit so you can wedge the block at any height you prefer in between your inner feet. And then set the sit bones down. You might wanna even reach around, spread the skin of your glutes so you're rooted down against your sit bones. So here, notice if the knees started to escape to the sides. Same like we've been doing. So you can hug your inner thighs to the midline, hug your outer hips to the midline. From here, we're gonna practice Gomukhasana. So reach your right arm up, or reach both arms up for a moment, please. Then bend your left elbow, right hand for the elbow. Now, if you're tight in the shoulders, I want you to stay right here. Otherwise, bring your right arm out to the side, rotate the thumb down so you're creating internal rotation at the shoulder. Then bring that arm behind your back. You might find a clasp. For me, because I'm tight here in my shoulder, I'm just gonna create a half wrap. But the idea here is to let the head push against your top arm, and those front ribs again, draw the front ribs in, the sternum in, turn on through the belly so you're not dumping into a back bend shape here. And then hold and breathe. Another 3, 2, and 1. Release it. Slow, shake out your arms. If you need to come out of the pose for a little breather, lift the hips up, maybe pat out your feet. Then either sit back into hero's pose or on your heels in Virasana. Now, I didn't mention this, but if this is actually not good for you, just sit crossed at your legs. Both arms up, inhale. This time, bend your right elbow, left hand to the elbow. Again, as you lift that arm bone, right here, lift that elbow up and back so the arm moves behind the head. Stay or left arm to the side, thumb down, bring the arm behind the back, either a half bind or finding your fingertips. Again, notice this particular position forces the chest forward. So we're knitting the ribs in, the sternum in, lifting the low belly in and upward as we're resting the head against that top arm bone, holding here for another 3, 2, and 1. Let's slowly release that. Again, shake out your arms. All right, let's practice camel pose from here. So that block, if you used it, you can feel free to even place it in between your inner thighs. And let's actually curl the toes under for this first one here. I like my palms flat with the fingers down. I know that you can always switch it. For me and my shoulders, I feel that I get a little bit more opening into the shoulders just by putting the fingertips downward. Then the action here is as my palms are flat, pushing against my sacrum, right? You'll feel it. It's the bones flat against the palms. Pushing my sacrum forward, at the same time, I'm engaging my quads, feeling like they're lifting. And then I want you to engage a little bit through your glutes so it creates hip extension. And then lift your upper body like you've got, I remember a teacher saying like you're putting your thumbs in your suspenders and then lift that chest up. Bottom tips of the shoulder blades are moving forward to your chest. Maybe gaze this up, hold another 3, 2. On 1, release that, bring your hands forward to a tabletop position. Then right away, cat tilt your spine. Walk your hands back in, stand back on your knees and shins. So camel number 2, and then moving a little bit differently if you'd like, otherwise same thing. Palms to the sacrum. You can keep the toes curled, or maybe this version you want to bring the tops of the feet to the mat. Again, as you're pushing your pelvis forward, firm up your quads, engage a little bit through your glutes as you extend through the hips. Lift the rib cage up and away from the pelvis, heart is lifted. Either stay or reach your left arm forward, up and around so you can catch the heel. Reach your right arm forward, up and around, catch the heel. Then continue to push the pelvis forward as you lift the heart. Hold another 3, 2, on 1. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale up, cat tilt the spine and table exhale. All right, if you used a block, set that off to the side. Curl the toes under, downward dog. Feel free to add a vinyasa if you like, otherwise hang out here for a moment. Now inhale, lift your right leg back and up. Bend the knees, stack up the hips, but keep your shoulders square. Inhale, straighten the legs, square it off, step forward with your exhale. Once again, lower the back knee, keep the toes curled in this version as you walk your hands along your right thigh. Right hand stays on the thigh, pushing down against the leg. Reach your left arm forward, up alongside the ear, or start to reach the arm back a little bit further. You can either stay or look back, just like camel, maybe reach to the heel that might be intense, reach for the calf, or hold the back of the thigh. All right, so find a back bend shape that serves you without collapsing and crunching up into your lumbars. You want to feel that idea again, like does a suspender lift? If you'd like, hand stays to the thigh, or reach that right arm up. With the exhale, slow release. Hands to the mat inside your foot. Walk your right foot to the side. Scoot your left knee, your back knee a little bit further. Then release this left hip. Push it away from you. Nice. From here, release and toe heel your right foot back. 3-legged downward dog. Kick your right leg back and up. Maybe give it a little shake, a little love. Nice. Then pigeon prep your right leg. Bring your right shin forward, lower it down, pause. We're not folding in. We're going to go right into this back leg. So lean a bit to your right hip if you need to. Bend your knee. Reach your arm forward, up, and around. First option, grab the toes, pull it in. Second option, flip your hand, elbow points up as you go deeper. Right, so coming into like this king pigeon variation. One more breath. Release your leg gently, hands to the mat. Inhale, reach your right leg back and up. Again, a little shake. Set the foot down as you exhale. Walk your hands to the very back of your mat. Hands to hips, up to stand, inhale. All right, so maybe you guess where we're heading. Dancer's pose, Nataranjasana. So we just stretched out this left leg, so that's the dancer leg, the one we're gonna reach back for. Right leg, standing leg. Bend the knee, heel to the glute. Reach your left arm forward, up and around. And I do this cue so you get the full rotation at the shoulder. You have some space. Hold the toes, or this version, hold the big toe side of your foot. Then reach your right arm up and alongside the ear. As you start to kick your left foot into your hand, lift, just like camel, pull up those suspenders, lift out of the pelvis. Foot pushes against the hand presses against the foot at the same time. So you use that as leverage. Hug your outer hips into the midline. Beautiful. Exhale, release. All right, we're gonna do that one more time, but I'm gonna give you an option. If you have a strap, only the option. If you don't have a strap, you're gonna do another dancer's pose. If you have the strap, you'll follow me, right? So no loop in the strap at all. Step your left foot into the middle of the strap. Then cross an X over the top of your foot. From here, thread your right foot through that, right? Once you have this, we'll bend at that left knee, arms to the side to begin. Then start to circle the arms overhead. Remember this action, lift the elbows up and back, biceps into the ears, triceps wrap forward. To go deeper, you can start to walk your hands down the strap, lift out of the lower back, again, pull up on your suspenders, come into King Dancer's pose. Otherwise, you're in regular dancer for another 3, 2, release the hands slowly against the strap, let it go. All right, do this for a moment. Just let the arms swing side to side. Woo. All right, hope you're still with me. We're gonna try our other side. All right, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. You can pause for a moment in a forward fold. Again, if you want to take those fists in your hands, give your low back a little love. You know, we have this tendency to let it dump against the low back. So that's our goal, is really to just feel that idea of lifting away from the pelvis in a back bend shape. All right, downward dog. Come back. Plank, then to dog. Inhale, lift your left leg up. Exhale, bend the knees, stack it up, keep your shoulders square. Inhale, straighten the leg, step that foot forward to the top as we lower the knee, keeping the back toes curled, both hands on that left thigh bone. All right, left hand stays on the thigh. Reach your right arm forward, up, and maybe back, first step. Second step, maybe look back, reach that right arm around. You might catch the heel, the calf, or the back of the thigh. Then if you like, left arm can lift up. Okay. Find your variation, lift out of the lower back, pull up on your suspenders as the bottom tips of your shoulder blades move to your chest. Another 3, 2, slow release on 1. Hands to the mat, toe heel your left foot to the side, scoot your back knee a little bit further as you now release your left hip. One more breath. Nice. From here, toe heel your left foot back, 3-legged downward dog. Just kind of clear out the leg and give it a little shake. And then set that foot to pit, or set the leg forward, pigeon pose. Just the prep, not folding. Lean to your left hip, bend your right knee, reach that right arm forward, up and around. Option 1, grab the toes. Second option, reach for the big toe side of the foot as you pull the heel in. Third option, holding the toes, flip the palms of the elbows up so you can move that heel closer toward your glute. Then if you're still leaning onto your left hip, so you can actually feel more buoyant into the hips as you're digging your left shin down against the mat. Let's try one more deep breath. Again, without slingshotting the foot, let it go gently. Back to a 3-legged dog. Give it a little shake, a little love in that left hip. And then, set the foot down. Walk your hands to the very back. Hands to hips. Inhale up. All right. 2 dancers poses. Left leg is a standing leg, right foot. I'm just gonna turn around so you can see my right leg. So bend your right knee, reach your right arm forward, up and back. Option 1, hold the toes. Option 2, hold the big toe side, the arch of your foot. Hug your outer hips into the midline, inner thighs towards the midline, then kick the foot against your hand as you reach your left arm up. So you can keep both hip points facing forward. You'll notice here, the hip might start to open out to the side. So keep your pelvis a bit more at neutral as you're coming into the pose. Again, pull up on your suspenders, lift the heart. Last breath. Exhale, release it. Shake it out. All right. Dancer number 2, Nataranjasana, or king dancer with the use of your strap. Once again, no loop in the strap. Step the foot to the middle of your strap. Then cross and make an X over the top of your foot. We'll step that left foot in because that's our standing leg. Then begin to bend the left knee. Sweep the arms back behind you, up overhead. As you're holding both ends of the strap, hug your biceps in towards your ears. Whoops, triceps, I gotta do this again. Triceps to wrap around and forward. And again, you can start to walk your hands towards your toes. Think about how you're hugging inner thighs to the midline, lift and pull up on your suspenders, maybe even challenge yourself, lift the gaze. Oh, my right leg doesn't want to work today. When you're done, let that go, let the strap go. And again, just swing your arms side to side. Release your back a bit. All right, so you should be towards the back of the mat. Release that and just pause first. Take a deep breath in through your nose and a slow sigh out of your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, we fold in. Walk yourself all the way forward to plank as you inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, yogis, let's lower our knees down and then sweep your feet around and forward as we now come into a seated forward fold. This first one here, let's actually come into a butterfly shape in our legs, Baddha Konasana. And rather than pulling your heels closer to your sit bones, slide the heels forward a bit more. So there's this big diamond shape. This will get into our low back a bit. So then start to thread your arms underneath your calves and then nuzzle your torso as far in as you can. You can either keep your palms flat against the mat or even cup them over the tops of the feet. None is better than the other, just what works for you. But let's inhale and lengthen forward first. Take the length with you as you now fold in. And just visualize here that space you can create in your lower back and through the lumbar. Belly drawing in. Last breath. Inhale, lift your head and the gaze. Slow exhale, release each arm underneath. From here, go ahead and close the knees in, separate the feet at sit bones distance, and then slide each hand back, fingers facing forward, reverse tabletop position. Lift the hips up. Much like we did in camel, find that extension through the hips as you're engaging your glutes. Maybe the head just starts to get more passive. And then slowly lower the hips back down. This time, extend the legs forward, but keep a little bend in both knees a bit. Rest your chest against your thigh bones as you hold your calves, the ankles, or the pinky sides of your feet. Pause in this position for just a moment. Again, nice release into our back body. Again, the tendency in back bends is that we create the back bend into the low back. We're really, this more mobile part of the spine, our thoracic, is what creates that back bend. So if you're like me, it happens, it's okay, but this is a great release for it. So you can either choose to stay here, or if you want to move deeper, scoot the heels forward and then fold in. Next breath in, look up. Exhale, release. This time, if you'd like, reverse plank or back to reverse table, hands behind you, fingers forward. If you're moving into Purvottanasana, reverse plank pose, legs are straight. Again, fingers past the hips and facing forward. Point the toes as you inhale, lift the hips up. Maybe big toes touch with the soles of the feet ground. Again, engage those glutes to create that extension through the front of your thighs, right at your hips, hip flexors. Beautiful. Exhale. Slowly release that. From here, let's go ahead and come down onto our backs. All right. Once you're here, set the feet flat. I will practice either bridge pose if you'd like to move into Urdhva Dhanurasana, upward facing bow. Remember that action? Flex the palms, fingertips to the shoulder. Wrap your arms in, point the elbows up and back, and then you'll press up into your back bend. I'm not going to do it because I've got injury. So if you're going to move with me, it's bridge pose. Lift your hips up, work your arms underneath you, find an interlace of your hands. And then just imagine what you were doing earlier in your camel pose, because essentially this is what it is. So you really have to, again, there's so many cues about what do our glutes do? But you want to activate the glutes, but not over clench them. But the glutes create this counteraction of front of the thighs here, so we get extension from the hips. Then I want you to imagine is if I've got my hands resting on your pelvis to push your pelvis down, but you're resisting the pelvis up against my hands. Notice if that changed anything for your pose. And you can do that same visualization if you're in your full Urdhva Dhanurasana. Hold your back bend shape. Another 3, 2, 1. Slow release. Release the arms. Articulate the spine slowly so you feel your low back touch before your glutes do. Let's do one more. This time, though, I want you to be mindful what happens with the legs. Remember, all these cues I've been saying is hug the inner thighs towards each other, hug the outer hips into the midline. You can always place a block in between your thighs if you feel like you have that tendency to let the knees splay outward. So back to bridge or to Urdhva Dhanurasana. Inhale, lift on up. And once you're here, engage the glutes. Feel what's going on in your heels. You can do 1 of 2 actions. I don't feel that there's really nothing wrong with feeling like your heels are trying to scrub forward towards your toes or scrub back towards your crown of the head. Just kind of notice how that kind of shifts and changes the power of the legs. Then again, I've got my palms pushing down against the pelvis, and you're pushing the pelvis up against the palms. Hold another 3, 2, slowly release. From here, walk the feet out wide, knock the inner knees towards each other, take a breather. All right, go ahead and now walk your feet in, pull both knees into your chest, Apanasana. And then we'll cross the right knee over the left knee. Come into a Gomukhasana legs. Either hold on to your shins, your ankles. If you reach for the pinky sides of your feet, flex your feet firmly, right? Rather than letting the feet go because it'll sickle at your ankles. So active feet to keep the tops of the feet in line with the front of your shins. Then you can either pull the heels down in this version, maybe push the feet out towards the sides, but ground the sacrum. So feel your navel center drop to the mat. And just hold. Breathe deep. Last breath. Now we'll keep the legs still crossed as they are, but release your feet or your grip. Place your left foot down so you can just scoot your hips to the right side of your mat as we lower both knees to the left. Either cactus out your arms or stretch them out wide to the side. And then once you do that, go ahead and kind of scoot your upper body towards the crown of your head so you find a little bit more length in your spine. You can just keep your head at neutral or turn your chin towards your right shoulder. Take one more breath. And then use your inhale, pivot the knees center, exhale, release, and then just switch out. Left knee over right knee. Either reach for your shins, your ankles, or the pinky sides of each foot. Again, keep the feet active and flexed. Either the version with the heels towards your outer hips or lifting the feet up so it's almost like your shins are in this straight line across your body. Think about the idea of reaching out further from the tailbone to reground the sacrum. And just breathe deeply. Once again, we keep the cross of the legs, release your feet, your hands out to the sides, slide the hips to the left, drop your knees to the right. If you need to, notice if you can get just a little bit more space into your upper body, let it pull away from the pelvis as you either keep the gaze to the sky or over towards your left shoulder. And slowly come back through center. Unravel your legs, either hug the knees to the chest or if you'd like, happy baby pose. You rock gently right to left, side to side. And then just simply roll to one side of your mat. And then you'll press yourself up and we'll come into a seated position together so we can practice pranayama. So if you prefer, sit crossed on the legs, maybe on a prop, maybe on your shins, but something that's comfortable for the lower half of the body. Our breath today is called shitali. It's a cooling breath, and it cools the body down from not just the heat of our practice, but I think just energetically too, with all this anxiety, fear around, it kind of will calm that just a bit. So to practice it, you'll do one of two things. So if you have the ability to curl the tip of your tongue, like so, you'll inhale with the tongue curled as so. Then you'll seal the lips and exhale out through your nose. If you can't curl the tongue like that, just simply purse your lips like you're sipping through a straw, and you'll inhale, close the lips, exhale out of the nose. All right? So go ahead and close your eyes. Shift your awareness to the breath. Then to begin, curl the lips or purse the lip, curl the tongue or purse the lips. Inhale. Seal the lips. Exhale out of your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now 5 more on your own.
Once you've completed your 5, you'll either remain seated or come to rest on your back for Shavasana. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. As your breath begins to fill you in on the inside, feel as if your breath is even wrapping you on the outside. Fully secure within the breath in your body. If you're on your back, move a little bit. Stretch it out. Draw your knees to your chest. And then make your way into seated to join the rest of your friends. And just take a moment just to sit into the energy of your practice and just revisiting the message of Madhyasta. Again, that idea of just feeling in the center. As much as we feel we're so involved in what's going on in our world today, take the opportunity just to feel this sense of neutrality. Step away from the emotions involved, which are definitely valid, but that idea of just being able to step outside and know that we are all in this together and we act then together as this bridge, Madhyasa, coming together to protect ourselves, to protect our world. Join your hands together in prayer at your heart. Let's close this practice together and chant the sound of Om. Take a deep breath in. Slide your thumbs towards your third eye center as we bow together, sealing our practice inward. Namaste.